I believe very strongly is education is key. Without education, the clients will have difficulty knowing what their rights and responsibilities are in sustaining their housing. So we offer educational workshops for all individuals, whether they're housed or just being housed, to come in and be a part of our work.
Barbara and I worked at the London Housing Registry as an intake worker, as well as I've been hired as a JCP position for fundraising. And this year our fundraising goal and fundraising campaign is a crowdfunder. Our crowdfunder this year, we are aiming to raise money to help support the agency and our educational workshops. These workshops will help the community by educating them on different renters' rights, as well as the RTA, different things somebody might want to look when they're looking at new units, as well as safety concerns and what their rights are.
The London Housing Registry is currently running a campaign to help fund some of our educational workshops. Our workshops are very important because they help individuals that are experiencing homelessness or who are at risk of homelessness to obtain some education and hopefully maintain their housing. Education is the key. Please support us.
We are doing a crowdfunding event starting in March to provide education workshops to those that may be potential to be at risk of losing their homes or their places to live. Please donate whatever you can. Give us to help to keep these education workshops ongoing for those at risk.
One of my favorite things that I've been able to do here are the workshops that we do on housing stability, especially with today's youth. We've been able to help them gain the tools to prevent homelessness, which has been an invaluable experience. Education is the key. Support our crowdfunding campaign in March 2015.
We'll be having a crowdfunding event, and I'd like to explain that to you. Right now we receive funding that's downloaded through the city to operate our core services, and the concentration right now is for episodic and homeless. The housing registry deals with that larger population that's at risk of being homeless. That could be anybody in housing crisis or situational homelessness. So we believe strongly at this housing registry that, or we believe strongly that education is key. That's what this crowdfunding is all about. We're hoping that you will support our educational workshops by doing a donation, and there's various levels that you can donate. And we hope that this will be a success. We're going to be starting this at the beginning of March until the end of March. And we really hope that you will support this cause. We feel it's a priority in the City of London that education is key. I can't emphasize that enough. Please support us. I really appreciate it.
Education is key. Support us.
Potential homeless is much different than what I would have anticipated or expected when I first came on the board, where you would see the person that be huddled in a cubby in a corner on a street or sleeping on a park bench. But what it's done is made me aware that it could be my next door neighbor, it could be someone down the street, it could be a coworker for that matter. It's to make aware is that because people are experiencing much more difficult times today, that so it could be anybody that you pass on the street or
you several examples of the type of person that accesses the housing registry. It could be your next door neighbor that recently lost their job and was 2 paychecks away from being homeless that need our help. It could be a woman that has fled domestic violence and is now in shelter and needs to find appropriate housing. It could be a youth that has been asked to leave home for various reasons that is in need of our help. It could be a person that's suffering from addictions and hasn't been able to maintain housing, and they've been going back from shelter to shelter for years. So it's anybody that is in housing crisis that we will help. I hope that sort of gives you a better understanding of the people in this community that are in housing crisis that needs our help.
How did I become associated with the London Housing Registry, or how I really founded it in the early 80s when there was a lot of unemployment, and I was director of a non-profit multi-service agency and saw a lot of people in need of help. And one day I discovered in this rather large building, people were sleeping in the basement because they had no place to go. And it seemed to me that there was a need for an agency that could supply people with the names of possible housing that would be within their income range in the private market. And so we started the housing registry.
The city is more apparent than I was really recognized. I've been made aware of where those that are vulnerable and at risk kind of hang out in the city because they're kind of hidden from plain sight in the majority of my dealings in the city. So I've seen those that are more vulnerable now by not going out and seeking them, but just in my day-to-day travels, whereas I can, sizing up people, I can see who may need help, and then directing them to London Housing Registry to get them help.
In London, there is a large wait list for geared to income housing, and because of that, there's also a large need for affordable housing for low-income families in the community. We help individuals and families find affordable housing based on their own criteria that they've decided for themselves. We look for units that are available within areas of the city that they're looking for based on the apartment size and the needs that the family or individual is looking for. We're able to also advocate for different clients who come in who might not be comfortable advocating for themselves or contacting landlords on their own. We also do outreach to different shelters and agencies in the community so that it is easier to access our services for those who are unable to travel or make it into the office. We have served over 24,000 people since the start of the agency, and we continue to look forward to helping community members.
The London Housing Registry is not an organization that just provides housing, but it goes beyond and provides education so that our clients will feel empowered when
Exactly, is the London Housing Registry. The London Housing Registry helps individuals and families find housing in the private sector. Those individuals or families may be at risk of being homeless or are homeless. We try to find alternative options to break down the barriers of finding housing in the private sector. We've been around since 1984, and we hope to be around for many, many more years.